Alongside Craig Button and Martin Biron, names 40 through 31 on TSN's annual list of the top 50 NHL players has now been released. A reminder, the list is a projection for the upcoming season, not merely based on what these guys have done in the past. And guys, you're both fired up about one player in this group in particular, and that's Zach Hyman. He comes in ranked number 35. And Craig, it's got you riled up. Why?
Well, I mean, you're playing with the best player on the planet. And everybody says, oh, it's easy to play with the best player. No, it isn't. Because the best player, in this case, Connor McDavid, creates so much. And if you can't finish to a great extent what he creates, you're not going to be playing alongside him. Zach Hyman had 70 goals last year playing with the best player on the planet. And he's going to play with the best player on the planet this year. Even if he only scores 40 during the regular season, another 15 in the playoffs, that's 55 goals. There is no way that Zach Hyman should be that low on this list. I want everybody's list to be public so that we can see where they had Zach Hyman. Because I'm going to guess if he comes in this low on the consensus, too many of our group had him way too low.
Well, it wasn't me, Craig. I had him 21st. So, yes, I'm with you. Not only is Zach Hyman a unique type of player, and he doesn't have to score 50 or more goals this year for me to consider him a top 25 player in the National Hockey League, but he's so consistent at what he does. People are going to say, to your point, he plays with the best player in the world. Well, that's not easy, and he can still finish. And some are going to say, oh, he scores all his goals on the power play. No, 8 in the NHL over the last 2 seasons in goals, 8 in 5-on-5 goals, 8 in power play goals. He's consistent. He gives you great performances at 5-on-5 on the power play, early in the games, late in the games, in the playoffs. I really feel like Zach Hyman is a unique type of player, and when you're unique like Zach Hyman, you should be a lot higher in the list. So I have him at 21st. 35th is really low for me.
At risk of getting my head bitten off, I will not tell you where I had Zach Hyman rated. He's still got some stuff to prove for me, but that's just me. All right, let's quickly shift before I get in trouble. Let's focus on a couple of goalies. Jeremy Swayman is ranked 37th. He's never played more than 44 games in a season, and now he's dealing with a contract dispute and a shortened training camp. Meanwhile, Sergei Bobrovsky, fresh off a Stanley Cup win, is ranked 2 spots lower at 39. Marty, even if Swayman gets a new deal in time before the start of the season, should he be ranked ahead of Bobrovsky?
No, Bobrovsky's got the 2 Vezinas, got the Stanley Cup now, and he has been able to prove that he can play 60 or more games and he can handle the workload. So, number one, Bobrovsky is the second best goaltender in the National Hockey League, in my opinion. And Swayman comes in after Bobrovsky at number 3. Now, I get it. Swayman has never been a full-time number 1 goaltender, but I think he can still play at a very high level. I'm excited for what Jeremy Swayman can do now that he is the number 1 goaltender with the Boston Bruins. But Sergei Bobrovsky has proven time and time again with different organizations that he can be that stud goaltender. So, yeah, he should never be 2 spots behind Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah, 100% agree. Sergei Bobrovsky played 82 games last season, which included the playoffs. He won 52 games. 52 games, including beating Jeremy Swayman to tell the Boston Bruins, go have a nice summer. Sergei Bobrovsky right now is better than Jeremy Swayman. And I love Jeremy Swayman. But the fact remains, Sergei Bobrovsky has done it. He's shown that he can do it. And even when you think about 2 years ago, he got into the net when the Florida Panthers were down 3-1 to the Boston Bruins, and he led them all the way to the Stanley Cup final. No way Bobrovsky is behind Jeremy Swayman.
I'm loving fired up Craig Button. This is great. Let's see if we can keep the fire burning. Connor Bedard comes in at number 34 ahead of his second full NHL season. I want to ask you both to look a little further ahead into the future at this time next season. When we're doing this list again, how high do you think Bedard will be on your list? Marty?
Well, I look at Bedard last year. I had him at 50th, and this year I got him at about 41st. I know that our consensus team has him a little bit better placed, but I think every year he's going to take about a 10 spot, better in the top 50. So in a year from now, I think he could be between 25 and 30. That is where I think he can be. And obviously, he needs to continue to perform. And the injury last year probably held him back a little bit. And what I think the numbers are going to look like when this season's all said and done. But I think we're talking about Connor Bedard being a top 25 player for the rest of his career, starting next year. Not yet this year, but starting next year, top 25, and for the years after that.
3 words, same as Marty. I don't know if I need to add anything more to it, Gino. That's exactly what it is. When he gets more skill around him, when he gets better players around him, what he did last year, and not just in terms of the goals and the assists and the points per game, but when you look at a deeper dive into the analytics, he was a driver of significant positive play. And I think that will only increase and get better. To get near the top 25 is a really significant accomplishment. But I'm right where Marty sees Connor Bedard at this time next year.
We're all in agreement on this one. We all see him on the rise. The only question is how far up and how quickly. Only 30 names remain on TSN's list of the top 50 NHL players. The next 10 will be revealed on Wednesday.